My wife said something to me once, maybe 30 years into our marriage, and it's the truest thing anyone's ever said about me. She looked at me across the kitchen table and she said, "I don't know who you are anymore. I don't think I ever did. The man I married didn't come home from that war." And she was right. She was absolutely right. I survived the Pacific, Guadalcanal, Peleliu, Okinawa. I made it through all of it when so many boys didn't, and I came home in one piece, no missing limbs, no visible scars. Everyone said I was lucky. My mother cried and thanked God. My father shook my hand and said he was proud of me. But the man who got off that train in 1945, he wasn't their son. He looked like him, sounded like him, wore his clothes and slept in his bed. But something was missing. Something got left behind on those islands, and I've never been able to get it back. My wife passed 15 years ago. My kids, they keep their distance, and I don't blame them. I wasn't much of a father, wasn't much of a husband either, if I'm being honest. I was just there, present, but not really present. A ghost living in a man's body. I've never talked about this because I didn't know how to explain it. The other veterans, they had wounds you could see, stories you could tell. But how do you explain that you came home empty? That you survived the war, but something inside you didn't? I guess if I'm going to try, I need to start at the beginning. I need to tell you who I was before so you understand what got lost. I grew up in a little town called Macon, Illinois, about 30 miles south of Decatur. Corn country. My father farmed 200 acres, same land his father farmed before him, and I figured I'd do the same someday. That was the plan anyway. You didn't think too much about the future back then. You just assumed it would look more or less like the present, and that was fine by me. I was a happy kid, if you can believe that. I know it's hard to imagine now, looking at what I became, but I was. I laughed easy, made friends easy, fell in love easy. Her name was Dorothy, Dot we called her, and I met her at a church social when I was 17. She had this smile that just, I don't know how to describe it. It made you feel like everything was going to be okay, like the world was a good place and you were lucky to be in it. We got engaged right before I shipped out. I was 19, she was 18, and we thought we knew what life was about. I told her I'd be back in a year, maybe 2, and then we'd get married and I'd take over my father's farm and we'd have kids and grow old together. That was the plan. Simple. Good. I remember the day I left, standing on the platform at the train station, and Dot was crying, and I wiped her tears and I said, "Hey now, none of that. I'll be home before you know it." And I meant it. I really believed it. I had no idea what I was walking into. No idea that the boy standing on that platform was never coming back. That version of me, the one who laughed easy and loved easy and thought the world made sense, he died somewhere in the Pacific. I just didn't know it yet. I'm not going to tell you everything that happened over there because, honestly, I don't think I could even if I wanted to. Some of it I've blocked out. Some of it I remember too clearly. And none of it makes sense unless you were there, and maybe not even then. The Pacific wasn't like Europe. I know every veteran says their war was the worst, but the Pacific was. It was something else. The heat that never let up, so hot you couldn't think straight. The jungle that wanted to kill you as much as the enemy did. Disease taking men faster than bullets. And the Japanese, they didn't surrender. They fought until they were dead, every single one of them. And they expected us to do the same. I saw things on those islands that I can't describe, I won't describe. Men I knew, men I'd trained with and eaten with, torn apart in ways that don't seem possible. The smell of it, the sounds, a man screaming for his mother in the middle of the night, and you can't help him. You can't do anything. You just lie there and listen until he stops. First island, I threw up after every firefight. Second island, I stopped feeling anything at all. That's how it happens. It's not one big moment that breaks you, it's all of it, every day, piling up until something inside you just shuts off, like a switch. One day you realize you're not scared anymore, not sad, not angry. You're just there, moving through it, doing what they tell you to do. I watched my best friend die on Peleliu. His name was Charlie Hendricks, kid from Wisconsin, and we'd been together since basic training. He took a bullet in the gut, and it took him 2 hours to die, and I held his hand the whole time, and I didn't feel anything. I knew I should. I knew something was wrong with me because I should have been crying, should have been screaming, but I just felt empty, like I was watching it happen to someone else. That's when I knew. That's when I knew the boy from Illinois was gone. The war ended and I came home and everyone was so happy, you know. Flags everywhere, people cheering, the whole country celebrating, and I stood in the middle of it and felt nothing. Absolutely nothing, like watching a movie of someone else's life. Dot was at the station when I got off the train. She ran to me and threw her arms around me, and she was crying and laughing at the same time, saying my name over and over, and I remember thinking, I should feel something. This is the woman I love. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Why don't I feel anything? I held her and I said all the right words. I missed you so much. I'm so glad to be home. Everything's going to be okay now. But they were just words. There was nothing behind them. I was going through the motions, playing a part, and I didn't know how to stop. We got married 3 months later, just like we'd planned. Everyone said it was the happiest day of my life. And I smiled for the photographs, and I danced with my bride, and I told her I loved her. And the whole time there was this voice in my head saying, "What's wrong with you? Why can't you feel this? Why can't you feel anything?" Our wedding night, Dot looked at me and she said, "You seem far away." And I didn't know what to tell her. How do you tell the woman you married that you're not sure you're capable of love anymore? That something broke inside you and you don't know how to fix it? So I said I was just tired. The war, you know. I just needed time. I've been saying that for 50 years. I just need time. But time doesn't fix it. Time just teaches you how to hide it better. We had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. And I look back now and I think, those kids deserved a father, a real father. And what they got was me. A man who was there, but wasn't there. A man who went through the motions, but couldn't give them what they needed. I didn't hit them, didn't yell at them, didn't do any of the things you hear about. I just wasn't present. I'd sit at the dinner table, and Dot would be talking, and the kids would be talking, and I'd be 1,000 miles away, back on some island, or maybe nowhere at all. Just gone, and they could feel it. Kids know when their father isn't really there, even if he's sitting right in front of them. My oldest boy, David, he asked me once about the war. He was maybe 12, 13 years old, doing some project for school, and he wanted to know what it was like. And I looked at him, and I couldn't say a word. I just got up and walked out of the room, left him sitting there. Never did answer his question. That's the kind of father I was. Dot tried. God, she tried so hard. She'd plan little trips, family outings, things to bring us together. She'd sit next to me at night and hold my hand and try to get me to talk. And sometimes I'd try too. I'd really try to be present, to feel something. But it was like reaching for something that wasn't there anymore, like trying to grab smoke. She never complained, not once in 53 years. But I could see it in her eyes sometimes, this sadness, this loneliness. She was married to a ghost, sharing a bed with a man who couldn't love her back the way she deserved. and she stayed anyway. I still don't understand why. The night she died, I was holding her hand, and she looked up at me, and she said, "I know you tried. I know you did the best you could." And I wanted to cry. I wanted to break down and sob and tell her I was sorry for everything, for all the years I couldn't give her what she needed. But I couldn't. Even then, even at the end, I couldn't feel it. The tears wouldn't come. That's when I knew for sure that whatever broke in me was never going to be fixed. I've had 15 years since Dot passed to think about all of this, and I think I finally understand what happened to me. The war didn't kill me. It would have been easier if it had. The war hollowed me out. It took everything that made me who I was, and it burned it away, and what came back was just a shell. A man-shaped thing that could walk and talk and go to work and raise a family, but couldn't feel any of it. Not really. And the worst part is, I didn't even know what I'd lost until it was too late. I thought everyone felt this way. I thought this was just what life was, going through the motions, doing what you're supposed to do, waiting for something to make sense. It took me decades to realize that other people actually felt things, that they loved their wives and enjoyed their children and found happiness in ordinary moments. That wasn't my experience. My experience was just existing, waiting for something that never came. My kids, they're in their 60s now. Good people. They have families of their own, and I see them with their grandchildren, laughing and playing and being present in a way I never could, and I'm glad for them. I'm glad whatever was broken in me didn't pass down, but there's a distance between us that's never going to close. Too many years of me not being there. You can't get that back. I think about Dot every day. I think about what our life could have been if I'd come home whole. If I'd been able to love her the way she deserved, to really be there for our kids, to feel all the things a man is supposed to feel. But I can't know that. I can't know who I would have been because that person died on an island in the Pacific when he was 21 years old. She said I was a stranger. She was right. I've been a stranger to everyone, including myself, for 80 years. I don't know who I would have been. I don't know what I would have felt. All I know is what I am. An old man sitting alone in a house full of photographs of a life I can't remember feeling. They call us the greatest generation. They thank us for our service. And I nod and I accept it because what else are you going to do? But I want to tell them, some of us didn't come home. Some of us are still over there, buried in the jungle, even though our bodies made it back. And the people who loved us, they spent their whole lives waiting for us to come back, and we never did. Dot waited 53 years. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry I couldn't be the man you married. I'm sorry a stranger came home instead. I hope wherever you are, you finally found the peace I could never give you.